something that crews are having to sift through to try and find hopefully anyone who might still be trapped down there.
Okay, and as we talk about that effort, let's go ahead and go straight over to our Local 10's Glenna Milberg. She is live. Let's find out exactly where she is and what she's learned. Glenna.
Hi, JC. We're actually on the beach right behind the building in Surfside. Right now, if you can hear the police department and FWC, a lot of the law enforcement out here, you can hear them talking over the loudspeaker to the people who are waiting for loved ones. And I want to show you what the scene here in the beach is like right now. Some of the people that you see here are spectators, people who live in the area, horrified at what they're looking at. But there are among this crowd people who are just utterly despondent, waiting for word for their family, their loved ones that they have not heard from as they are looking at this building and the collapse from this morning. And now in noon daylight, I want to just take you in for something that really struck us looking at this building. We've been looking at it for 7 hours. We've seen it from different angles. Up in the top unit there, bunk beds, you see carpeting and people's belongings. And this just sort of gives you an idea of, it was in the 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, people were sleeping, going about what we all do every day, just living their lives, and in an instant, what has changed? So down below, the big focus today has been on that huge mountain of debris, and in that debris, as you know now, are probably at least 3 or 4 dozen apartments and the people who were in them. We learned earlier today the occupancy of this building was pretty high, not only with people who live here, but people who are visiting. I know anyone who's been with us all morning, people are just riveted to watch this unfolding, have met some of the people who were waiting, sharing photographs of people who were sleeping in those apartments just a couple of hours ago. So that is where the focus is now. There have been rescue crews, teams, they're sort of rescue teams of different jurisdictions who have come together for urban search and rescue type of operations. They have the dogs out, and we heard just a little while ago that one of the dogs did seem to pick up on a scent. I'm just going to talk really plainly at the moment. The hope that there is anyone that survived being buried under there is pretty slim. And that's because the way this building apparently collapsed was just straight down in pancake form. And so one of the rescue crew people were saying that there is not a great chance of big air pockets for people to be trapped in. That said, there may be some. And hope is alive, and they are working really quickly. As you know, time is of the essence. So that's one part of what's going on here now. On the other side of the buildings, you've seen my colleagues on the Collins Avenue side, where there are elected officials and rescue crews, and they're trying to commandeer families to the Surfside Community Center, where they have sort of the resources and infrastructure to help families and loved ones waiting for word. Many of them are here. They are not going there. They are waiting here. I will say, we're on 88th Street. A couple of blocks to the north of us, there is a very large synagogue. And we are understanding that many of the families that live in this building are part of that synagogue. They have a rabbi out here, a chaplain, trying to help in whatever way he can. And this is going to be a really concentrated heartache for a lot of people in this community in the coming hours and days. But there's a lot of people sharing photographs, looking for people. So out here on the beach, the human toll of what we are looking at is
Glenna, we're going to come
really
back to you, but right now we
now.
need to go to Governor Ron DeSantis. We've been waiting to hear him speak.
Okay.
He's going to be at a press conference momentarily. So, Glenna, thank you for that report. We'll check back in shortly. You see the governor. There he is right there. Let's see if we can listen into this press conference.
Well, good afternoon. We all woke up in the early morning hours to see these really tragic scenes of a collapsed condominium complex. But I just want to give credit to the search and fire department, the first responders, Miami-Dade County They were on that scene before we knew whether there'd be more collapse. We didn't know whether the building had any structural integrity, and they were shepherding people to safety. And they absolutely saved people's lives, and so we really appreciate all that they have done and that they're continuing to do. I had an opportunity to meet with Mayor Cava and her team, as well as the mayor of Surfside, and we just toured around the complex to be able to see, and the TV doesn't do it justice. I mean, it is really, really traumatic to see the collapse of a massive structure like that. Right now, we have the fire rescue. They are in search and rescue mode. They are trying to identify survivors. I know they have made contact with some, and they are doing everything they can to save lives, and that is ongoing, and they're not going to rest. And so, thank for what they're doing. We were just over there, got to thank some of the folks who just had to change a shift, but they've really stepped up. We're also making sure that the people that have been displaced have a place to go. We're going to be visiting the center up further north on Collins Avenue after this, but we are happy to report that through the help of the Red Cross, we have short-term hotels set up for these folks, and then obviously we're going to work with the city and the county, state, to make sure that there's any longer-term needs that we can be helpful in any way we can. This is not necessarily going to be immediate in terms of what ended up happening, but I know that they are going to have engineers looking at this to try to identify what happened and what was the problematic occurrence. And so that probably, you're not going to have those answers immediately, but I know that they are diligently going to be working to be able to do that. And so it's a tragic day. Some of those folks who were able to go from safety, we thank the fire and rescue for what they did to be able to put themselves on the line to help other folks. They're still hard at work. We still have hope to be able to identify additional survivors. And the state of Florida, we're offering any assistance that we can. We've done some with the Florida Department of Transportation. Miami-Dade's got a great team, and so they've got a lot of resources that they're bringing to bear, but we're standing by to help in any way we can. I'm going to introduce our Director of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie. He's going to say a few words. We're also going to hear from Mayor Cava, and then I think, Mayor, you're going to hear from the Mayor of Surfside as well. So, Kevin.
Right. Good afternoon. Kevin Guthrie with the Florida Division of Emergency Management. Just to give you an update on what's going on with state resources, we do have members of the State Emergency Response Team that have been activated and are working this event. They include members from obviously the Chief Financial Officer's office with the State Fire Marshal and ESF 16. That includes individuals from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and our law enforcement resources from ESF 16. It also includes our ESF 8 Health and Medical, as well as our DOT partners. I know Director Dane Eagle is here as well with DEO. So we've got about 5 different state agencies involved right now that are assisting local county and city government on responding to this event. Right now, the biggest ask that's been asked for is traffic control devices from DOT, and DOT is filling those resources right now. Again, we will be here as long as we need to be to continue to assist the local county and municipal government with the needs that they have of us. Thank you.
Mayor.
So this is the incredible, unimaginable situation that none of us could have predicted, but we have the right people on the job. Our team at Miami-Dade Fire Rescue has dealt with collapse situations before. Their dogs are trained. They have been on the scene since they got the call at 1:38 this morning, and they are doing a fantastic job. They were able to rescue so many from the buildings, the intact building, the collapsed building, and really incredible that at this time we've only identified one person as having passed. So we are very, very hopeful. We'll continue the search and rescue operation. We've also evacuated the 2 side buildings, and we're working with Red Cross, with our own social service agency, our police and fire departments to make sure that those people are properly situated. The leadership here of the city mayor has been phenomenal. He's been on the scene since early this morning, as well as neighboring mayors. They've all come to help with their police departments, with their own moral support and presence. Also, this is a predominantly Jewish community, and we've had the rabbis and chaplains on hand. The operation that will be visiting in shortly the community center. People are getting the support that they need. Not only are they getting hotel rooms, they're getting help with their medicines, with blankets, with clothing, because of course there they are with nothing. They were evacuated in the night. Anyone who is looking for a missing loved one, anyone with information, we have a hotline, 305-614-1819, 305-614-1819, and this is how we are going about continuing this operation with the support of family members. We're also going to be receiving family members. We're going to accommodate them, so stay tuned as well for that. Estamos tan agradecidos por el trabajo increíble de nuestros bomberos que estaban aquí desde la mañanita y rescataron tanta gente, cientos de personas de los edificios, y después de todo eso solamente una persona que ha desaparecido. Y estamos con esperanza que con su expertise, su experiencia, que podemos salvar más personas, y están buscando ahora ellos y con sus perros, y ellos tienen lo que necesitan para hacer el trabajo. También los edificios al lado, hemos sacado las personas y están todos esperando en nuestro centro de comunitario, y estamos buscando hoteles para ellos y otra ayuda social si necesitan. También tenemos una línea de emergencia para los que están buscando familiares o si tienen información, 305-614-1819. 305-614-1819. Estamos muy agradecidos también para todo el apoyo de las ciudades alrededor, el estado, el gobernador y la emergencia del estado. So we're really grateful everyone's come together, and we're going to continue our efforts here. Thank you so very much.
Mayor, thank you. Thank you, Mayor Cava, Governor DeSantis. Little Surfside has experienced a catastrophe with respect to this building. I woke up this morning at 2 o'clock and came out to the property, and it was something like I could never believe could happen. It was a complete collapse of the building. I thought maybe a balcony had gone down, but we've got 134 units in that building, I understand, and literally half of that building is not there anymore. So we're working hard. There's not a lot that Little Surfside can do except ring the alarm bell, and we rang the alarm bell, and Mayor Cava sent the cavalry, as did the governor. And that has made all the difference in the world. They've got resources like you can't believe here. We've got the dogs, we've got the equipment, and we're going to do our very best to save as many people in that pile of rubble as we possibly can. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
LG, Español.
Yes. Bueno, muchas gracias por estar aquí. Obviamente hoy es un día muy triste para todos nosotros ver lo que ha pasado aquí en Surfside. Como dijo el gobernador, el Estado está aquí para proveer el apoyo para el alcalde, la alcaldesa. Estamos aquí para asegurar que podemos continuar en lo que es los esfuerzos de nuestros héroes que han estado desde temprano buscando, están en
And good afternoon. We want to let you know that obviously the governor has spoken already, and also this is the lieutenant governor who is speaking in Spanish. But we heard from the governor who called this a tragic day, and then we also heard from the mayor of Miami-Dade County, Daniela Levine Cava, and then we heard from the mayor of Surfside, who basically said that there are 134 units in this condominium building, the Champlain Tower there that collapsed earlier this morning at around 2 o'clock, we believe. 134 units, half of them now gone. You can see there what was the interior of the building we are able to see from the outside because of that partial collapse. The mayor of Surfside also talked about how, Nicole, that they have the dogs, the right equipment, and the right people in the right place at the right time to begin trying to rescue as many folks who may still be trapped under that rubble of that partially collapsed building.
And as we listen to the Lieutenant Governor and the picture to the right of your screen of just that collapse in Surfside, you almost need to take a breath when you look at that and just see what has happened overnight and the many hours into today. So we know those numbers have come in as of 10 a.m. We don't have any recent numbers. It's 1 o'clock right now in the afternoon, so we're still going based on this information we've gotten in the morning. It is just a tragic day in Surfside. that we are dealing with right now, and we are still dealing with this search and rescue, and many crews out there working to see if they can find anybody stuck in that rubble. So right now we want to take our team coverage over to Ian Margol. Ian was earlier at the Recovery Rescue Center, so I don't know if Ian is still there. Ian, have you moved? Are you still there? What can you tell us?
No, we are still here at the community center in Surfside. We're right at 93rd Street and Collins Avenue. This is where they're having evacuees. So anyone that was inside of the Champlain building that was able to make it out, they have all come here. And also family members that are looking for people that lived in the Champlain building, they have all come here as well. And I want to step out of the way so you guys can sort of see what's been going on. People milling about, sort of just waiting for information, waiting for any word about their loved ones. There are also people from the hotel next door to the Champlain building. They have been here all morning as well. And I had talked about this earlier, but I bring it up again. There were children that were shoeless. There were people in pajamas. Just to give you an idea of how sudden this all happened and how quickly people were told to evacuate, how quickly they had to get out of there and get here. So what we've been seeing right now, the Red Cross has been giving out water, they've been giving out coffee, they were giving out blankets this morning, obviously a little bit warmer now here outside. And initially the community center was sort of being used as a place to temporarily house these people that have been displaced. There were kids sleeping on mats, there were adults that were sort of hanging out with their kids, trying to keep them entertained. Now what they are doing is they are using this as their reunification site. So they have set up tables in each side of the conference room inside the community center. And what they are doing is you walk up, you give the name either of yourself so that they can account for you, or of your loved one, and what they will do, take that name, take the unit number as well, and that's how they're keeping a running list of who is and who is not accounted for at this point. So I have gone inside there a few times. The mood here, as I was talking about